Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the Studio Series Transformers 1 movie Elita 1 figure. So in this video, we're of course going to have a detailed look at her in both of her modes, help you decide how you want to display her. We're going to be comparing her to some of the other Transformers 1 figures that have been released, and a few other figures as well from different toy lines, just to give you an idea of just how big she is. So as I start to move all of these out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please. And also, once again, to thank In Demand Toys, because that's where I purchased this from, and as you can see, they got it to me quickly and safely. So here's her packaging, and I've got to confess, it just seems like an eternity since I first saw the prototype of her at MCM Comic Con in October last year, to finally being able to hold the particular figure in my hands. The back of the packaging is brilliant. You've just got two product shots there. We've got an image of her from the movie at the top, and as I say, we have on the side as well, and it's just the standard, industry standard now packaging with no backdrop, just the same size box, which looks pretty good, to be honest. So she does come packaged in robot mode. I'm sure you've already noticed I've uploaded the tutorial for the transformation separately. That is to keep the main length of the video down, and indeed not to spoil it for people who don't want it spoiling for them. So the accessories that she comes with is of course this booster pack, jet pack, which you can attach on the back. So I suppose if you're watching this at a later date and it doesn't come with any of the accessories, it's not too detrimental really. I think in both modes, to be honest. The alternate mode itself is pretty clever. The transformation is pretty complex. My only gripe is the fact that you do have quite a bit going on underneath. So you can see the feet, you can see the head, and I struggle trying to get it to roll, to be honest. It could just be me, I'm not too sure. It could just be my copy. You saw that just popped down there then. Maybe that helps it a little bit, but to be honest, I'm not too bothered, because I'm not going to be displaying her in this mode anyway. And of course, I suppose you could also say, you know, it's futuristic, so it could even be hovering, but no, there is not much. It's I don't know, it could just be me if I push it down a little bit harder. Oh, I'm actually damaging that. Maybe you can get away with it, I'm not too sure, but I think it does look better with the accessories attached to it. So definitely this on the back, that just sort of covers up. Oops, let me bring this up and then attach this into there. It's really tight. Brand new toy, so you haven't really played with it, haven't had much chance to muck about with it. There we go. And of course you can attach this or pop this in. Does it go on the side that way? It can't go on the side that way, surely. It must go with that tab either that way, which looks, I don't really like it with these, I've got to be super honest. I don't think it really does anything for them, but of course if you want to store it whilst in the alternate mode, then that's the way that they're doing it. That's the way it says to do in the instructions. For me, it doesn't really work, in honesty, and it also looks like it's not going to be blast effect compatible, because you're not going to be able to fit anything in there. Right, let's bring up a few other figures just to give you an idea of how she sizes up against them. So that of course is, I've wrecked that now. I've damaged it. I put a big indentation in there. That is, of course, with Orion Pax stroke Optimus Prime. Let's bring in some other figures. So different toy lines, but I tend to use a lot of Bumblebees and Optimus Primes. The reason for that is because most people have these particular figures, so it just gives you an idea of, I suppose, how big the figure that I'm reviewing is. So that is, of course, your Earthrise. That's the same size as the G1. What else have I got randomly here? I've got a few others. Let's have a quick look. For some reason, I don't know why, that's not going to make any difference to you, but for a bit of fun, it is the Red Alert Happy Mail. And it is, of course, way bigger than your Generation 1. But yeah, not much more to say about this particular mode. Yeah, as I say, the wheels, they do go round, but they don't really fit for, they're not really fit for purpose, because there's not much clearance from the bottom. The silver looks nice, the little bit of details there. It would have been nice if you could perhaps attach this somewhere across the top, but you just can't seem to. But I think that's all there is to say about this particular mode. Of course, you could attach other, I'm saying that. Can you attach other? No, you can't. They're not 5mm ports, so you can't attach other 5mm port weapons to it. So there you go. There isn't much more to say about this particular mode. Let's come right back and have a look at her in a robot mode. Okay then, back for the final time with her in a robot mode, and I've got to be honest, this is the way I'm going to be displaying her. So let's have a quick look first and foremost at just how articulate she is. So the head sculpt, to be honest, is really nice. It's obviously very good. It looks just like she did in the movie. The head will spin around. You can see it's on like a mushroom peg with an additional neck movement there, by the way. So that's loads of articulation in there, which is really, really good. The shoulders are on ball and socket, so you can just about get the full T. I've just realised I haven't rotated these around, which actually comes to the thing that I think it's, I don't want to be too negative because I don't think that I need to be, but the fact that the whole of the arm, which you can see there, all of this right down into the forearm, right down into the wrist, right down into this, is just one giant piece. It's I don't know if it's weird, I don't know what it is. I just think I'm not used to it. I don't think I'm used to things like that. It reminds me of like a very old, maybe hoist figure, you know, something like that, with all of this at the back. It's not too detrimental. I think the thing with, perhaps it's the fact that with, you know, female characters, you know, they try to make them super slender. It's not a problem with the character, it's just obviously with the figure, with the toy, they try to get them super sleek and slender, which of course they've done perfectly. I mean, she looks very thin in exactly that. There's no width to her at all. But with regards to all of this forearm, I thought personally, looking at this, that this would move. I think that's all it is. I just looked at that there, I thought this is going to spin around to be able to maneuver or manipulate it out of the way, but you can't. So it's not too bad at all, to be fair. That means there's no gaps in the forearm though, so I suppose that's one bonus. Completely unrestricted waist swivel. I didn't do the shoulder. There isn't really a swivel, but you've got the movement in the side. You've got a ball and socket at the bicep, and of course the fists will not move. The legs, again, ball and socket, so you can get the full splits that way. And just about that way, to be honest. You can of course spin it just a little. Can you spin it more? No, you can't. You pop it off, but you just reattach it. Knee bend, ankle tilt, rock, toe tap, heel down, etc. So, you know, really articulate. Just perhaps, maybe, I'm being overly critical here, just too much plastic there. I would have liked to be able to spin that if it was possible to put, you know, a little, I don't know, something in there to be able to spin it. But again, you can't really tell, and from the front she looks fine with it. Comes with a giant blaster, which is again exactly that. It is huge. Yep. And the good thing is, look, she balances fine. That's the big thing. That's the most important thing. Even with, when they do come with these larger weapons, she balances fine. No issues whatsoever. No worry of tipping. So that's pretty good, as in tipping over. Again, bit of a reminiscent, or a bit of a, reminds me of, is it the Bumblebee RC movie? I'm sure it is, to be fair. I'm sure it's something to do. Bumblebee movie RC figure, that's what I meant. This again is the jetpack. I'm pretty sure they're calling it the jetpack, and I'm pretty sure that this is compatible, we'll see in a second, with some of the other cast as well. So let's have a look. That still keeps her balance. She still looks great, to be honest. The fists though, let me just double check. The fists are definitely 5mm. Yes, there we go. That's Starscream from Thrilling, well, the Takara version. Let me bring up some of the Transformers 1 figures first and foremost. Let's take this out of her hand just to see how she fares with them. Again, I think the big thing is that shocks people, or what we're not used to. If you've been collecting Transformers for a long time, you don't get used to having Optimus Primes and Megatrons at deluxe scale. You just don't. But they work really well, and to be fair, you can really see that he is quite a big deluxe scale compared to him. With regards to some other figures, so again, other primes, that's your Voyager class. So as soon as you get into your Voyager class sort of size, Siege, Earthrise, much bigger, which you can see there. Of course, the newest one, Commander, completely towering over Generation 1. There you go. And then just to completely contradict what I've just said, there's a deluxe size Optimus Prime. But there you go. That's, you don't get them very often. But with regards to a deluxe size, she's, yeah, easily in that deluxe, I suppose, exactly that size category bracket. Let me just bring this one up for a teeny little, and completely jinx myself. There's two, isn't there? Of course there is. Maybe that's the new thing. Maybe we are going to get used to Optimus Primes at deluxe scale. But here's a bit of a curveball for you. This is a very good, but yeah, quite a bit smaller interpretation of Elita 1. This is the Blockies Classic class, which looks beautiful, and she is, and as I say, nice and streamlined. Doesn't have to worry about transformation, but that's just a bit of a curveball for you in there. Right, to be honest, as I say, there's not really much more to say about her. She is great. She does look good with the rest of the cast, and I suppose that's the only real important part. The forearms, maybe I was being a little bit too nitpicky on. Otherwise, oh no, let me just very quickly see if this works, just in case people ask. I'm pretty sure it's going to. Didn't want to forget it. Whoever just put prime, here we go. Yeah, it looks like they've got these holes. Typically I've gone for the one that, is it going to work? It must do. So he's got, yeah, he's got the wider holes there, and the Megatron, no way. Yeah, I just realized, I didn't realize that at all. So all of they're all got their own. Yeah, so that's set for all of them. So look, that's going to fit in there. There you go. That's clever. That's made it worth it even better. That's really what's the word I'm after? Because it not only surprised me, but that's made the figure much improved, because you've got something that you can use on all of the others, which I always think is great, because at the end of the day, these are toys and they're meant to be played with. So because it's more versatile, multifunctional is probably what I was trying to say, that's improved in my opinion. There you go. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.